Oh, firstly, I'd like to thank everyone from Marlow Can for organising this evening, because I know it's no mean feat. My name's Tash, and um, I'm one of the co-founders of the Marlow Homegrowers Network. I share the role with three other people, many of which you know, who will also have been speaking over these evenings. Marlow Homegrowers Network was a response to the evening, the 2040 film, where a number of us ended up in a Zoom room talking about food and local food. And we all shared an alignment as to how we felt about being able to grow food here in our town. So the Marlow Homegrowers Network, or MHGN for short, we haven't quite come up with a decent name for that yet, short name, but it became very obvious that what we'd actually created was a kind of community movement. We have no plans at the moment to sort of raise fund or hold any funds, but just to do a number of things. Firstly, we want to support home growers. And that's any type of home growth. If one thing that lockdown has taught us is that people are beginning to grow. They have we've polled our members through Facebook, and there's a number of reasons why they're doing that. Some for environmental reasons, others because they just want something to do with their children at home. But anyone trying to get compost or seeds will have known over that period of time it's really, really difficult. So we decided that the, excuse the pun, low-hanging fruit was to start to begin to communicate with these people, and try and raise the profile in our town of growers and to support each other. It led us on to thinking about what other kind of things could we potentially be doing, and we would like to look into the future towards starting to really grow food in our community spaces, and to begin to change the way that we think about where our food comes from, and to really champion food growing as part of something that we do as human beings, which has on the whole been lost. So how are we going to do this? Well, it's all about inviting the community through various different methods in order to talk about it and to act, to try and define the roles and to try and achieve the goals. So the first thing we kind of did, we did the obvious thing. We set up a Facebook page. That was probably about 6 weeks ago, and it became active very, very quickly. We had a page, and that allows the four of us just to post various things about what we're doing and what we're all about. And then we quickly realised that we needed a group chat, and the group chat has become very, very active and very valuable, and it allows people to share all sorts of knowledge, Q&A, successes, ask questions about where they can get certain things, conversations about the weather, you know, all important stuff when you're growing. The other thing we did, and actually we did this really, really early on, and we decided, well, we can't meet, you know, we're in lockdown, we can't meet. How are we going to talk to people? And we really wanted that human connection. So the lockdown and Zoom, these two things sort of clashed together, and we ended up having chats, and we called them gatherings because we wanted them to be really, really informal. And the intent is that we socialise and we meet other growers, we share news and knowledge and skill, and just see what people's projects are, and most importantly, to celebrate the harvests. So what have we actually been doing actively in the community? So we sort of came up with a few just really simple ideas that we could just sort of throw out there on Facebook and sort of see what would happen. The one that has been really successful so far is the seedling station, of which we've had five locations in Marlow. We also gave it opportunity for local charities to potentially get some donations for seedlings. And it served a number of purposes. This first, it enabled people who are starting to grow and who had killed their seedlings, which can be a devastating thing when you're learning, to go and get some more. It enabled us to reach out to the community for them to see, oh, there's this thing going on, there's this really cool thing going on. And it also enabled more seasoned growers to be able to swap and share when they just had too much and stuff. Something we're just about to do is we're going to be giving away 10 lovely tomato plants, and these are going to be going in various places in Marlow on private land, but we're hoping that they're going to be in places where there's a lot of footfall. And again, it's going to serve two purposes. It's going to raise the profile that food has been grown here in Marlow, and that we're willing to share it. This is something we're just working on at the moment, and it's a great glut giveaway. This will happen on the stations and anyone else who wants to do it. And that's basically gives growers the opportunity to share their stuff or to give it away. This could happen over Facebook, peer-to-peer sharing, or it could go into a space on a table, perhaps at one of the seedling stations around town. And the final thing, which I haven't got any visuals on, is we're jamming, and that's an idea. Again, it's all about getting people connected, to get growers to connect with canners and jam makers and picklers, and sort of to share and collaborate locally. Anyone who's got loads of raspberries knows that their freezer's full of them. Connect with a jam maker, swap and share. So we're also looking at community growers. So this is more about education. So getting to schools, providing seeds and seedlings, and offering information and talks covering growing, caring, feeding, composting, harvesting, and seed storing, potentially with preserving and cooking on top. And we've already supported Marlow C.V. School. They actually reached out to us on the Facebook page and asked us if we had any seedlings, and we all went yes, and here they are, already in some nice new raised beds at Marlow C.V. School. Community workshops, again, really quite interested in doing those. Free workshops on a range of topics, with focusing potentially on marginalised families, individuals and groups. And the final thing is much more notional, and it's a bigger thing, and it's about creating spaces. So creating spaces within our towns where we can have harvesting festivals and we can have educational festivals, covering all sorts of topics, with a real focus on celebrating those harvests, whether it's potatoes or strawberries. We want to be ready if we need to help the community find more growing plots, allotment style. Community forest gardens that can educate and inspire through ethical food growing techniques and low impact living. And finally, these are the big things, and this is about home farming, and to potentially offer traineeships in organic and sustainable food production, with a focus on finding a place for struggling young adults, and potentially selling produce to local restaurants, care homes, schools, and potentially the general public. So how can you get involved? Well, you can start to grow, you can host a station, you can help us support, you can support us with event organisation, and much more. But that's about it. We're a very, very, very new organisation, and it's just a bunch of volunteers who don't actually individually know a great deal about growing. But what we have been able to do already is to find the seasoned growers in Marlow who are sharing their amazing knowledge. Thank you. I'm just going to leave you with this last quote from Dan Tipney. But thank you very much for listening.